A.C.C. bringing joy, Christmas cheer. Top 3 moments, highlight of the year. Pop culture mixing and feeling sincere. Lights, camera, action.
Hello!
Hello!
Happy Christmas, everyone!
Merry
and welcome
Christmas.
to the very first A.C.C. Christmas special. Johnny, we've been looking forward to this. Tell the guys what we got in store.
It's so much. I think given that the ACC has grown from its humble beginnings when it was just us three, right? What feels like a lifetime ago, and I think we both had less than 100 subs on our channel, probably less than 30 subs on our channel, I think, when we first speaking, and kind of got together and decided that YouTube would feel like a less lonely place if we put our baldy heads together. Thankfully, Shaz was up for that too, and yeah, we kind of reached out to who else we could think to reach out to at that point. And I think there was an initial little cluster of us that came together, made a few videos together on a similar topic, and then have all been on each other's streams over the last kind of couple of years. And it's been really cool seeing how it's grown and turned into this nice little community.
It's been brilliant. I mean, we've all branched out, we've all gone different places, and that's like what you and I like to encourage everybody to do. Go off, do some other different projects, do lots of different things, spread the word, and it's taken us this long. But here we are at last with the very first ACC Christmas special. So we have a lot of guests today, and they're all going to give us the top 3 highlights of 2024, whatever they may be.
And what a year it has been. There's a huge amount of stuff to pick from this year.
Yeah. So first up, I'm going to introduce a guy that I'm really impressed with. His channel is excellent, and his presentation is top notch. Gave me a few spasms watching this, but Tristan, martial art film freak, take it away.
What's up, Hong Kong and beyond? We are here to talk about 3 of my favorite moments in all of cinema in 2024. And it has been a fantastic year, one of the best years in a long time. I only have 3 minutes, so let's get straight into it. Number 1 is 100 Yards. Just the whole movie in general. It was fantastic. It was beautiful. You had Andy Yon. You had that other guy whose name I can't remember at this very moment. Jackie Young, that was his name. But this movie was full of some of the best choreography I have seen in so long, especially out of China. China has not had, I believe at least, and has not had a good or great Kung Fu film in so long, or Hong Kong. Of course, we had Twilight of the Warriors walled in as well this year, but above that sort of high fantasy style of martial arts, has more of a wuxia vibe. I'm going to go with 100 Yards, which is more this very understated, subtle choreography. No big swiping movements or anything like that. No big magical elements. Just simply really fast, really small, really subtle choreography. From the weapons to the hand-to-hand stuff, it was all glorious. One of the best weapons films I honestly have seen in quite some time. The storytelling through choreography was perfect, and as I said, the subtlety of every single movement was beautiful. Moving on to number 2, we are leaving China, we are leaving Hong Kong, we are flying all the way to Australia for Life After Fighting, a film that has truly stuck in my mind ever since I saw it. I cannot stop recommending it to people. When people talk about their favorite action films of the year, they talk about Dune, it's got some action in it. They talk about Furiosa. They talk about Deadpool and Wolverine for some reason, but I always say, right, cool, but have you seen Life After Fighting? Because Jesus Christ, some of the most inventive, insane, fast-paced choreography of the year. The fact that Bren Foster wrote, directed, and starred in this movie was fantastic. And the fact, even more, that he shot the entire movie in his own Taekwondo school, where you see his real students, you see his real staff, and he got his stunt team to choreograph, to craft some of the most spectacular action of 2024. Hell, some of the most spectacular action of the decade so far, and I think it's going to take quite a bit to beat that one. My number 1 moment of 2024 is simply Netflix. Netflix has owned 2024, and it started in the very beginning, going up to bat in January and knocking it out the park with the German martial arts film 60 Minutes, a fantastic film full of incredible fight scenes that feature this fantastic blend of, let's say, like a realistic MMA style, mixed martial arts, mixed with this flair for camera that went beautifully together. Several months later, we hop over from Germany to Japan, where Netflix gives us City Hunter, a new adaptation of the legendary manga and anime. Everybody has seen the Jackie Chan film, but I think this one was much better. It's not as goofy, doesn't have as much comedy, but the goofiness is still there. Our hero, our main character, is a goofball. He just happens to be a goofball who can kick your ass and is also an expert marksman. I found this film nothing but entertaining from start to finish. When it comes to the action, it's definitely top tier, but as an entertaining film, it is one of the most entertaining movies you are going to watch in 2024. And for a complete change in tone, a few months later, we hop over from Japan to Korea, where we get Officer Black Belt, a film that starts off very lighthearted and suddenly gets extremely dark as our hero dives further into the world of South Korean crime, where it's, like I said, it gets dark. It gets quite disturbing, if I might say, but the action is fantastic. Korea proving once again, as they have for the past 20, 25 years or so, that they are always the best. They never miss, they never lose. And then Netflix comes out with one more banger. Who knows, they might even have another by the end of the month. They came out with the Indonesian film directed by Timo Tjahjanto, The Shadow Strays. Definitely one of the very best, number one, up there, action films of 2024. This was perfect. Timo Tjahjanto is a master of cinema. I'm not even saying he's a master of action cinema. I'm not saying he's one of the best action directors we have today. I'm saying Timo Tjahjanto is one of the best directors, period, full stop, working in the industry today. He's just one of the best. I don't care. Denis Villeneuve, Christopher Nolan, off. Timo Tjahjanto is top tier. The blood spilled from start to finish with interesting characters, a wonderful story that might in the future blend in with a previous Timo Tjahjanto film The Night Comes For Us, and I can't wait to see where the sequel goes and how it blends in to films we've seen previously. The Shadow Strays was perfection. Netflix has killed, has owned, has devoured 2024. And those are my 3 favorite things that happened in the world of film in 2024. Hong Kong and beyond, thank you so much for having me on the channel. And as always, have a good day.
I was going to say, beautiful job, Tristan, but where's the Christmas hat? Leon had fully prepped me that it was going to be Christmas mode. I felt bad that I don't have any tinsel up.
Honestly, it's just Tristan. I'm sure it's just Tristan. I did say to everybody, I'm sure everybody will have the Christmas hats on, Johnny. Honestly.
I hope so.
Right.
Shaz, you want to take us into whoever we've got up coming next?
Absolutely. So next up, we have Mike Fury.
Hi guys, Mike Fury here. So my picks for the top martial arts films of the year would be as follows. First, I'd like to talk about The Shadow Strays. So I'm a huge fan of the writer-director Timo Tjahjanto, as I'm sure many of you are too, and I really think he's outdone himself this time around. Obviously, he gets a ton of credit for the action and the fight scenes, which is great and always very exciting to see. But for me, it goes beyond that. It's about the character development and the world building within the whole story, and of course infused into the fight scenes as well. So that's always very cool to see. And I'm sure like many of you, I'd love to see some physical releases for his films too. The Night Comes For Us, The Shadow Strays, and many others. So hopefully that's on the cards in the near future. But an amazing film and one of the best of the year for me. Secondly, I'd like to mention Twilight of the Warriors Walled In. Now, if you're a fan of classic and contemporary Hong Kong action cinema, and I think we're all in the right place for that, this is definitely going to be a highlight for a lot of people. There's so much talent in front and behind the camera here. And even though, you know, there's not the same frequency of releases from the Hong Kong market that we once had in years past, I think this is a great example of what the Hong Kong industry can still deliver. And, you know, and hopefully there's plenty more to come because it's such a bold and ambitious piece and an absolute joy to watch. Thirdly, I wanted to mention Life After Fighting. Now, compared to the other 2 films I mentioned, which I think had more visibility around the releases, this is a little bit more of an undiscovered underdog gem, but definitely worth checking out, especially if you're a fan of martial arts action movies. Now, the leading man is the very talented Australian actor and martial artist, Brent Foster, who's incredibly talented, but here he also makes his directorial debut. So he's writing, directing, producing, as well as taking the lead role. He's surrounded by an amazing supporting cast, and they tell a very compelling story, and it's an amazing showcase for his physical talents, which are immense. He's incredibly skilled across a range of disciplines, so hopefully it's a sign of more to come from him, and it's one that I think a lot of people will be discovering for years to come. Thanks so much, guys, and a big shout out, of course, to Leon, Shaz, and Dragon. Thanks, guys, for asking me to be a part of this, which I really appreciate, and thank you for all the great and hard work that you do. Thanks, everyone. Happy holidays.
Wow. Mike's picks. Really, really good. And the presentation. I didn't know Mike had those chops for this. Mike's a great guy, isn't he? He's become firm friends of us three.
Very much so. And anyone looking for a stocking filler, if anyone gets any Amazon vouchers, pick up Mike's book. I have Life of Action Part 2. I'm jam-packed with interviews. A phenomenal book. We both, I think, kicking ourselves that we didn't pick up Part 1. But yeah, really good book.
Talented guy, and he knows this stuff, doesn't he?
Yes. Which means I should kick off number 3, and we have Huss from A Touch of Film, one of our original ACC members. I think Huss has been here since the very, very beginning with us. Always picks his own pretty unique kind of choices, so I'm excited to hear what Huss has to pick. Take it away, Huss.
Hi, Dragon. Hi, Shaz. Hi, Leon. Thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity to come on your channel to talk about my 3 highlights of the year. I mean, 2024 has been such an amazing year for film altogether. But for me personally, I've got 3 standout moments. Probably the top moment for me was getting to meet one of my favourite directors of all time. It was Jia Zhangke. I met him at London Film Festival, the UK premiere of Caught by the Tides. I mean, he's easily one of the best Chinese directors working today. The fact that I named my channel after one of his films, like A Touch of Sin, and it was like, well, yeah, Touch of Film. That's literally where my name on my channel comes from. And yeah, it was an absolute honour to meet him. I was for the Q&A at the screening, and then actually chatting to him afterwards was just an absolute honour. Another great moment, very similar. I mean, these 3 moments are very similar to each other. Was meeting another great Japanese director, Yukihiko Tsutsumi, who most people would know from 2LDK. And it was the screening of his new film, Killer Goldfish, where he was there, and I actually had a chance to really speak to him about film, really, and I had the great opportunity of him to sign my copy of 2LDK as well, and we had a great chat talking about the remake of it and how I said it just doesn't need a remake, it's like perfect as it is. And yeah, he's a really super cool guy. The way he was speaking at the Q&A was just so funny. He was just speaking underneath a mask. And another great moment was meeting Neo Sora, the son of Ryuichi Sakamoto, who I don't know if many people know who he is. He did a lot of scores before he passed away. He starred in Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, and that was at the screening of Happy End. And Happy End was a film that I really went into with a lot of hype due to Opus, which Neo Sora did last year, and I just was super excited for Happy End. And yeah, it was just a great screening, and speak to Neo Sora, not about film, we were actually talking about Palestine, because he's a big supporter of Palestine, and yeah, super cool dude. And yeah, his first feature film, and it's great to be there at a screening of his first film. So yeah, they're my 3 highlights of the year. And I just want to say Happy New Year to everyone. Hope you have a good Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. And I'll see you in the new year.
Wow, isn't Huss lucky being up in London, able to go to all these cool events and meeting all these great people?
I can't believe it. 3 top directors.
Yeah.
I know, amazing. Huss has met everybody, particularly from the kind of Korean cinema directors. It's been incredible. I'm very jealous.
Yeah, very envious of Huss. Some great moments for him. And we're going to lead in now, and we're going to see my little brother, Caleb, from Caleb's Kung Fu Cinema. Take it away, Caleb.
Hey guys, it's Caleb from Caleb's Kung Fu Cinema. First off, I want to wish everyone a very happy holiday season. I hope everyone is enjoying it. Thanks to Shaz and Big Brother Leon and Brother Dragon for asking me to be part of the Asian Cinema Circle Christmas special. So for my top 3 movie highlights of 2024, starting off, we have a movie that I just saw a week ago, and I have to say, after this entire year, I found something I can finally say is my movie of the year. I didn't see a whole lot of action movies this year other than things like Killer's Game or Deadpool and Wolverine. But yeah, I have to say this one took the cake for me. That is Twilight of the Warriors Walled In. This was such a fun movie. The action was great. The story was great. Excellent story of friendship and betrayal and family and all that good stuff. There was also some really great performances from the cast, especially Philip Ung. And I cannot wait for the future of Twilight of the Warriors because I know they got more of those films coming out pretty soon. So yeah, it's going to be really fun. I can't wait for that. Up next, we have Enter the Clones of Bruce. This documentary really, I said before that it was very eye-opening, and it really helped me understand and appreciate Bruce Exploitation. In my younger days, I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I have to say, again, this helped me learn to appreciate Bruce Exploitation, and I am now a huge fan of it. It was a great experience watching the documentary, as well as all the really fun films on the Game of Clones box set, and seeing all the ups and downs of the Bruce Exploitation genre. And I can't wait for what else they got coming for Bruce Exploitation. If anyone hasn't seen that documentary or any of the movies on that set, I recommend it because you guys may learn to appreciate Bruce Exploitation as well. And last but certainly not least, I reviewed this movie on my channel a couple weeks ago, and that is the 2011 film Shaolin, which is my third movie highlight of the year. The movie Shaolin really just reminded me of why I love Kung Fu movies. It's such a great story, and it's also got some really amazing fight scenes and great performances. And yeah, when I was watching this movie, I just sat there and I thought to myself, this is why I do this kind of thing. Movies like this, movies that are as great as Shaolin, is why I do this channel. So yeah, that's it for my top 3 movie highlights of 2024. Once again, thanks to Shaz and Leon and Dragon for asking me to do this Asian Cinema Circle Christmas special. Hope everyone has a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whichever it is. Hope everybody stays safe. So thank you, and enjoy the rest of the special.
Amazing job, Caleb. Great to see Twilight of the Warriors getting a second mention, and nice to see him going with a deeper cut of kind of picking up Shaolin. Obviously, not everybody's picks were films that came out this year, which is kind of cool to see.
Next up, we have Sid from Cool Moviegram.
Hi, Leon, Shaz, and Dragon. It's Sid from Cool Moviegram. Yeah, this is just in response to your video, your request for Christmas. Now, focusing my highlights of the year so far in terms of film. Right, well, there were 3 occasions I can think of. Okay, in terms of like cinema releases, of course, the biggest one that everyone I think is going to be mentioning, especially in this video, was Twilight of the Warriors, which was released by Cine Asia at UK cinemas. To be able to actually see like a huge Hong Kong movie and on the big screen, I was so excited to watch this. The fact that you had like veterans like Sammo Hung make an appearance, and also you had people like that experienced like veteran stars like Louis Koo and Richie Jen, alongside like the new generation of actors like Jermin Chung and Terence Lau. It was actually a really well made film by Soi Chang, and watching that in the cinema was probably one of my all-time favorite films in a long time, and also definitely one of the best films that I've seen on the big screen this year. And the second was is a physical release. I mean, the one that I've just recently reviewed, which was the Legend of Fong Sai-yuk, because these films were so poorly treated by Dimension Films, and even the release that came out via Dragon Dynasty after was not that great. It had bits missing, and it was just refreshing to see both of the films getting great treatment, A1 kind of like the fact that it's the full movie in its original language. And you know, both of them, it was just great to actually now finally own like good copies of these. I mean, which were like virtually impossible to get a hold of, especially in the original language. And my last and my third thing for this year was being able to see a film which is, of course, one of the films that was on constant rotation as a kid on VHS because I was too young to watch it in the cinemas when it came out, which was Alex Proyas's The Crow, which of course was the late Brandon Lee's final on-screen role. And to be able to watch that on a 4K restoration on the big screen in a pretty much near enough packed cinema was definitely one of the highlights of the year. And yeah, it's just kind of like, you know, it was great the fact that I never got to see this in the cinemas before. So I was kind of glad that I did get to see this beforehand. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Those were my picks of the year, and I do look forward to seeing this video in its entirety. Peace out, keep watching, and those of you who haven't subscribed yet, subscribe, like, and share my videos. Thank you.
Wow. Some good picks from Sid there. He's always solid, dependable. And, you know, I like that he's thrown into the mix the Bong Sayuk box set from 88 Films because they did deserve like a new release, I think. And they put this out on 4K and Blu-ray and a really nice package that we need to pick up. You've got that package yet, Johnny?
I do indeed, yeah. I think kind of the Kung Fu Bob covers, I'm always kind of racing after myself to kind of pick up. I love Kung Fu Bob's artwork. He got to do 2 huge box sets for 88 this year. He did the Project A set as well, which I was surprised no one picked, right? Getting Project A in 4K. But it was American only, and most of us are in the UK. But yeah, great seeing Kung Fu Bob back and that Fong Sayuk box set. Hopefully you get some vouchers in your Christmas stock and you can pick that up after Christmas.
That would be
incredibly
nice.
Great set. Which takes us to the wonderful Andrew from Amplet Reviews, who I'm sure has picked something pretty eclectic that I suspect will be a little bit different from other people's picks in some cases. Take it away, Andrew.
Hello, Hong Kong and beyond, and Fanatical Dragon. Thank you, everyone who's watching this. Merry Christmas. Hope everyone's having a good seasonal holiday with their loved ones, friends and family. And I'm here to talk about 3 highlight films of the year for 2024, spread across 3 different genres, and to give you a bit of insight into some of my favorite films of this year. First one being Anora, my very first Sean Baker film. The guy put on Florida Project, Tangerine, Takeout, which I have now seen. At the time, this was my very first Sean Baker film in the cinemas. Didn't know what to expect. Big marketing campaign for this one, being an A24 film. I went in, absolutely loved it. One of my favorite films of the year. Just a very unconventional love story. It kind of flips on its head in terms of a more modern approach to that kind of material. It's a dark comedy. It's a very grounded movie at the same time. It's a larger-than-life kind of spectacle. You've got a remix of It's the Greatest Day from Take That and the opening track of the film. Excellent performances, surprisingly really, really funny. Goes in directions which you didn't expect it would do. In fact, if you've seen the marketing, seen the trailer, a lot of that stuff is in the first portion of the film, and then the film alters and changes as it goes along. It's a very grounded movie. It feels very real. It feels very authentic. Boston kind of, America, traveling, going from place to place, and just kind of showing a looking glass of a view in a life of a couple that is very destructive in that sense. She character is a stripper. She falls in love and basically marries very mature, very irresponsible, someone who has wealth and money, and hilarious and see what happens from that point. But it's brilliant performances. I would not be surprised if this film gets Oscar nominations for next year, could potentially win Best Picture. Phenomenal film. Please go and check it out. If you're not really into those kind of movies, I think this one will be the exception for sure. Nora, please go and check it out when you can. Second highlight film for the year is The Substance, released in course 2024. Saw this in the cinemas at a preview showing. I thought that was going to be the only light of this film I was ever going to see. A lot of these types of films don't tend to get big releases. Word of mouth has spread. The marketing's been very clever. They've dropped this on Halloween Day on the streaming service, and everyone who's anyone has been talking about The Substance, from the same director as Revenge, which I really enjoyed previously. This has Demi Moore and Margot Qualley, which offer some of the best performances of this entire year. It's definitely is a powerhouse of women performers this year, I'd say for sure, in terms of Oscar nomination potentially, and just really kind of experimental kind of movies. This is a body horror with a social commentary about beauty standards. It goes in really odd directions, and such a unique kind of sci-fi kind of concept in the vein of Cronenberg. If you haven't seen this film, if you're one of the few that apparently haven't seen this film, please go and check it out. And my third and final highlight pick of the year for 2024, of course, has to be a Hong Kong movie. It is Twilight of the Warriors Walled In. One of the biggest surprises of this year being the fact that most mainstream modern Hong Kong movies can be very few and far between in terms of quality, in terms of action. And I don't think I've seen such a glee or excitement and joy in the cinemas watching this film for the very first time. And I'm watching it again on 4K. The edition is absolutely phenomenal. Just an incredible Hong Kong movie. I've talked about this film already on the channel. And the best thing about the film, it just raises the bar in terms of storytelling, in terms of characters, maintaining different styles of action, respecting the past, embracing the future, telling a really engaging, really fantastic film about friendship, about community, about fighting for your home, fighting for your placement, trying to do the right thing. Don't let the sins of the past kind of dictate the future, and just presenting just an incredible, awesome movie for everyone really to enjoy, new fans, old fans. And it was one of the best cinema experiences I've had all year. And I cannot wait for the 2 follow-up movies to kind of come from this. Well, thank you, Leon and Shaz, Dragon, everyone in the Asian cinema Hong Kong community. Hope you have a good Christmas. Until next time, guys, on For Reviews, signing out.
Well, interesting picks there from Andrew, and a couple that, well, we've not seen, have we?
Nope. I think I remember the Substance being advertised and saying it looks really good at the cinema. But yeah. What about Honora, Johnny? Have you heard of that one?
No, I haven't. A Substance I do want to see. There's absolutely no way that my wife will tolerate watching The Substance, because everyone said it's like the goriest, one of the scariest movies they've seen in a long time. It's meant to be like kind of body horror, but it looks really good. I would suspect I'll be flying solo on that one, but excited to see it, and great again to see Twilight of the Warriors getting another mention. I think if we,
I think we had a sneaky suspicion, didn't we?
Very much so.
So next up, we would like to welcome a new member to the ACC, and it is Celine from Dragon Seeks Path. And we're very, very pleased to have Celine on board with us, and we're looking forward to future collabs with Celine. Go and check her channel out if you haven't seen it yet. She's amazing. And here she is with our top 3 picks of 2024.
Hello Dragon, Shaz, and Leon. This is Celine aka Cynthia from the DSP channel here at Dragon Seeks Path. Here are my top 3 film highlights of this year. Man, this is actually a pretty tough one, since I feel like there's been a lot of great films that have been coming out during the year of 2024, and especially action cinema wise. But I will say 3 have definitely caught my attention. I will mention Baby Assassins 3, The Shadow Strays, and of course Stuntman, the Hong Kong film Stuntman. When it came to Baby Assassins 3, that one definitely got to me, and I feel like that's something that, I don't want to spoil it too much, but so action-packed, and you have your 2 main female lead characters just kind of, paving the way throughout the entire film. A lot of differences in terms of from the first to second one, but the third one definitely is. It's definitely like Japanese action cinema badassery, literally. And I love the fact how they, enhance the action sequences in that film. The Shadow Strays, directed by Timo Jakianto, Indonesian action cinema. That's another part of, has shaped me to become the action cinema geek that I am. But that one, man, damn, what an action film. I honestly think that I still have many vivid images and visuals from that movie. Like even up till now, right? And I've had to rewatch it a couple of times because it's just so damn good. The action and everything, it's just breathtaking. And as we get down to Stuntman of the Hong Kong film, that one really spoke to my soul. It really means something because as somebody who, again, as much as I love, respect, and appreciate those who are within the stunt community and the stunt industry, I feel like that's definitely a film that shines a lot of light into the work that these people do behind the scenes that we don't often observe or get a chance to see, as well as the challenges and the obstacles and how one kind of conquers through their own personal struggles. And so it spoke to me because as somebody who very much loves, respects, and appreciates people who are working behind the scenes and those who are within the stunt industry or stunt community, it really touched my heart and it touched my soul in a very beautiful way, It added more value and added more perspective to the more immersive intimate scenes of what it takes for an individual to kind of, navigate challenges and overcome certain obstacles within the stunt industry, and specifically focusing on the Hong Kong film industry and action cinema. So that's definitely one of my top films of this year. But nonetheless, I do wish every single soul out there a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I can't believe that the year just flew by like really quickly. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you in another video.
Awesome. Kind of really stoked that we managed to get Celine on board for this. I had the pleasure of sitting down with her and doing a big long form chat about The Shadow Strays. Hopefully that's already up on my channel, and by the time you're all watching this. And great picks from her. Awesome to see and hear Stuntman getting a mention. I think we all loved Stuntman as well. It was hard to whittle down. Cine Asia have given us so much great stuff this year. And really delighted that she picked Baby Assassins 3 as well, which I know not that many people have had a chance to see yet, but everyone doesn't know what's in store for them on that one. A phenomenal, incredible movie. So yeah, great job, Celine.
I'm getting the itch for it now. And Steve, what did I say? I said people would be wearing Christmas hats. And Celine didn't let us down.
She did indeed, kind of starting strong straight away.
I was starting to sweat. Like, I'm sure I put it in a memo, but now I know I did.
And I think up next, don't we have one of the other original ACC founding members?
We do.
We have Will, though Will not looking exactly the same as Will normally looked.
Ho ho ho! Will here from Hong Kong Cinema Appreciation Society. Well, no, actually, I'm standing in for Will as unfortunately he wasn't able to prepare a video for us. But here we have Will's top 3 movie-related highlights from 2024. Number 1, Love on Delivery. Will says, legitimately, one of the funniest movies I have ever seen. It gives me that same wonderful, fuzzy, childlike, pure joy and happiness that I get from classic Jackie Chan and Sammo Hung movies. Will's second pick from 2024. Comrades, almost a love story. Will says, Maggie Cheung gives one of the best performances I've ever seen in a beautiful, gentle, original and very honest love story. Will's third and final movie highlight from 2024 is Chai Min Liang. Will says, I finally took the plunge a decade after falling in love with his first film, Rebels of the Neon God from 1992. Seen 5 of his films so far this year and loved them all. I find his style of filmmaking utterly hypnotic. I was lucky enough to see him speak along with actor and longtime collaborator Li Kangsheng at a double feature of their films this summer. Okay, thanks Will. And now back to you guys on the stream.
God damn, I think I've suddenly developed a crush on Will. He's never looked so handsome to me.
Yes, Will and Shaz separated at the birth.
This is messing with my head now. I don't know what's going on. I'm seeing things in a whole different light. But great picks from Will there. Really gutted we couldn't have Big Bro Will on, his own video. But he was very gracious enough to send us his list. So we're very glad to have it on the video. Thank you, Will.
Mm-hmm.
So next up, we have 3 picks from Cine Asia.
Hi, Dragon, Shaz, and Leon. 2024 has been truly a wonderful year. Trinity Cine Asia has released 11 films this year, from comedy to animation, action sequence to art house, breaking the language and cultural barrier for audience to enjoy every frame, every second. Here are Cine Asia's 3 film highlights of the year.
I 趁落官死，做嘢！
今次你保佢唔住嘅。
警告你，城寨唔到你亂嚟，搞事，命都冇。
邱总死，老白瞬间负担还不能追究啊！
开始针尖找奥兰德。
我这次的命就值这些。
紅磡係一個好特別嘅地方，一街之隔，嗰邊紅館每晚都喺度開 show， 呢邊殯儀館又係每晚都喺度開 show。生人嘅感受先至係最重要。
咪就行外人同行內人嘅分別咯。你嘅心都唔喺殯儀。
生人都要破地獄㗎，生人都好多地獄。
On behalf of Trinity Cine Asia, we're wishing you a very Merry Christmas.
Awesome to see Cine Asia giving us some clips as well. It's kind of nice to kind of see some actual, some clips of the movies that we've been talking about. Unsurprised that they picked 3 Cine Asia titles. How could they not, right? But Cine Asia have spoiled certainly both of our channels this year, right? I think there's few other labels that have supported us both really for so long and so kind of wholeheartedly. So I think maybe a Merry Christmas thanks from all of us to everybody at Cine Asia, and thanks so much for putting together a video for us. None of us have enormous, huge channels, so it's a real treat how much they've stood by us over the last couple of years. And really cool that they made a video and got involved.
It's so exciting. I was really pleased when they got on board with this. For, you know, like you say, us guys, we just got our channels, but for them to actually take the time to do this, absolutely amazing. I know all 3 of us are really stoked. So, yeah, absolutely brilliant.
And 3 amazing choices. If you haven't seen, I know a lot of people have seen Twilight of the Warriors, but I think still a lot of people slept on Black Dog and on The Last Dance, right? And both are amazing movies. Like I think we had the chance to see Last Dance on the big screen, which was an immense treat. And at the end, normally people kind of drift out during the credits, but it's one of the few movies that I can remember seeing at the cinema where nobody left and everyone was there drying their eyes through the entire credits, because it's quite a tearjerker. Last Dance was really a gut punch emotionally in the best possible way. Absolutely loved it. Similar with Black Dog too, just kind of amazing. 2 phenomenal movies.
I think I'm going to be suing a little bit for therapy actually, because I've never cried so much as I have this year. It's getting embarrassing now.
It's cathartic. It's good for you, brother. It's good. Embrace your emotions.
And now we need to introduce another brother from overseas, Jason at Martial Arts Theatre 3000. I get a funny feeling this is going to be similar to what I could pick. So take it away, Jason.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas, everyone. It's Jason from Martial Arts Theatre 3000. And thank you to Leon, Shaz, and Johnny for setting this all up. We really appreciate it. I wanted to go over my 3 favorite releases of the year. This was actually really easy for me. First up, we have The Game of Clones from Severin Films. Special thank you to Michael Worth and Frank Jang and all the producers that put this together. It's a Bruceploitation box set. I've loved Bruceploitation all my life, and I just was over the moon that they actually had a full collection of these movies restored on Blu-ray. So exciting. Bruce Lee, of course, is my favorite. And, you know, it has a lot of different types of movies. You know, Caleb's favorite Cameroon Connection, of course.
Anyway, here it goes. Cameroon Connection, the worst fucking thing on this set. I hated this goddamn movie so much.
Of course, and the documentary itself will blow you away. I definitely recommend picking up The Game of Clones. Next up is my second favorite release of 2024, and it is Shawscope Volume 3. I tried to put on this elf hat to match the green, but it was way too noisy. But Shawscope Volume 3 is so far blowing my mind. When you get this, put on Avenging Eagle, The quality, it's just off the charts. It's absolutely amazing. You've never seen it like this, and you have the extra minute that was missing on the Celestial IVL version. Arrow just keeps knocking it out of the park. I love the green. It's tons of wuxia movies on here, so it's nice to switch it up from the straight kung fu. And I'm just blown away by this. I definitely recommend picking up Shawscope Volume 3, if I can get it in the frame here. And my number one release of 2024 happens to be my favorite movie of all time. Coming again from Arrow, who did the Shawscope box set, we have Conan the Barbarian. This has been my number one forever. I'm trying to get it in frame here so you guys can see it. Arrow just absolutely slayed this release. It's unbelievable how many extras they have on this. The image quality, Arrow go above and beyond. Like on Shawscope 3, they do their own scans. On the original Shawscope, there was a few that were straight from Celestial and still look great, but the ones that they scan the negative, you can't believe, like I said, how good Avenging Eagle looks on Shawscope 3 and how good Conan the Barbarian looks on this. If you've seen it before, I have the old Blu-rays of Conan the Barbarian, but you've never seen it like this. This is the 4K here, and this is my number one release of 2024. So Merry Christmas, everyone, and Happy Holidays, and thanks to the Asian Cinema Circle, and I'm excited to see everyone else's list this year.
Some great picks there. It's good to see Conan on the list.
Crom, I've never played to you before. I've no tongue for it. Nobody, not even you, will remember whether we were good men or bad, but valor pleases you, Crom. So I ask you this: grant me one last visit. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. I thought you were just going to go with Crom.
Yeah. I just, great picks, and I was very excited, as you may have guessed. My inner Conan snuck out. What am I doing? It's Christmas, not Conanmas. There we go.
Absolutely knew that Jason was going to deliver as far as Christmas wear goes as well. Good man.
Yeah, he's a star, isn't he? I tell you what, when I asked him, I just knew he'd do it because he likes to have a laugh, doesn't he? And that was funny. I was having this little drink then, and I nearly spat it all over the computer with the whole beginning.
He's a good lad. He really is.
So next up, we have one half of HKB's choices. Take it away, Leon.
Morning, shoulders full. It's Leon from HKB here, and here are my highlights of 2024. First up is Enter the Clones of Bruce, and in particular, interviewing the director, David Gregory. This was a wonderful experience for me, and getting to see it on the big screen up in London was quite marvellous. Probably wasn't the best interview you ever see, but it was a great experience for me, and David Gregory made it very easy, and I'm very grateful to him, and I really enjoyed it a whole lot. My second highlight of the year was getting to go onto the Heroes 3 podcast. Now, I've been a fan of the Heroes 3 podcast for a long time, and originally Shaz and I were both supposed to go on together to talk about another film, but unfortunately at that time we were not available, and when time came to do our podcast, it was going to be on Revenge of the Ninja. Unfortunately, Shaz couldn't join me, but I had a great time. The guys made me feel really welcome. It was a film that was very special to me, and I really do hold that episode a special place in my heart. I really enjoyed being with the guys and hope to have opportunity to work with them again in the future. And finally, my third highlight of the year is purely and simply Cine Asia. What they put out this year was absolutely tremendous. Some of the films, like The Lyricist Wannabe, Shaz did by herself, because I was quite ill at that time, and I think she did a good job on that. And the guys at Cine Asia, they've been absolutely fantastic. They've been really considerate. I've had some operations this year. They sent me a card and everybody in the office signed it. I was really touched. But look at what they've put out this year. Incredible films. The Stuntman, Twilight of the Warriors, Walled In, and The Last Dance. These films have really kept us going. They've kept us inspired, and we just want those guys to know we love you a ton, and we're looking forward to next year. So that's all I have to say. Back to the stream.
Good job, you two.
I like his picks. They were okay.
And jealous of you two getting to go down and actually kind of see the Game of Thrones premiere in the flesh. It would have been a trip seeing the documentary on the big screen. And great getting to speak to the director, the man behind Severin Films.
Yes, that was a lot of fun. He was very gracious. I did feel I was getting a bit of a sweat on when his phone kept going off, but it wasn't his house, was it? It was his mum's house. So what could you do? And he was very great, actually, very professional. He just carried on like a trooper. And it went down how I thought it would at cinema. A few chuckles. Everybody enjoyed it. A great experience. John.
Next is Sean, my co-host in our brand new Mic'd Avengers podcast, along with Jason with Martial Arts Theatre 3000. By the time that you are all watching this, I think episode 2 will be up and episode 3 hopefully will be in the can. But love those two guys and very intrigued to see what Sean has picked for his year's best.
Hello, Leon and Shaz. Thank you so much for letting me do this. I think 2024 has been a very interesting year for martial arts cinema, personally. There's obviously been some standouts, mainly being Twilight of the Warriors, Walled In. I think everyone's been talking about that one. That actually isn't my favorite of the year. It isn't my favorite martial arts film of the year, but that's because I've been very, very, very lucky this year. Technically, this film, I think for most people, they'll consider this film a 2025 film. I've been lucky enough to see it in 2024, and that's Baby Assassins 3, Baby Assassins Nice Days. I watched that earlier in the year, and by far, it's the best martial arts film I've seen all year. It's probably my favorite film of all year, to be honest. I absolutely love it. Unlike the other Baby Assassins films, it's way more action heavy. The usual formula is fight at the beginning, fight at the end. And this is way more than that. It's got a ton of fights throughout. That was definitely one of my favorites. The Shadow Strays, I absolutely loved as well. Timo's new film, fantastic stuff. But I have to talk about something very specific, which is Chinese straight-to-streaming movies. It's been such a good year for straight-to-streaming movies, especially with Chin Peng Fei, in the director's chair and behind the action as well. If no one knows who he is, he's responsible for what is it called? Eye for an Eye, The Blind Swordsman. This year we got Eye for an Eye, The Blind Swordsman 2, which is what's absolutely incredible. I love that film. That's up there as one of my best of the year. And then we had, I think this is my favorite straight to streaming film, and that was Blades of Fury. Sorry, I forgot the name for a second. Blades of Fury, absolutely phenomenal film. Ashton Chen is absolutely killing it. There's also a little a little twist at the end of Blades of Fury, which implies there's going to be an interesting crossover in the future, but I won't spoil it for anyone. Just been a fantastic year for action cinema all round, from the early months of The Beekeeper all the way through to the late months. I just think it's been fantastic all round for both Asian cinema, or I should say martial arts cinema, and action cinema in general. So fantastic stuff. Hopefully more of those straight to streaming movies are going to hit next year. I think they've really hit their stride. There's been Blind War this year, Black Storm. There's been a ton. Even the Striking Rescue, the new Tony Jaa film. Wonderful, wonderful year. I think we're really, really at a great place for martial arts cinema in particular. So thank you so much for letting me do this. I hope everyone has an amazing holiday season and a fantastic new year. Cheers.
Oh, so we have another entry for Baby Assassins 3. I'm really wanting to see these now, Shaz. Everybody's bringing it up. It's interesting that Sean brought up the Chinese straight-to-streaming films, because I know he's been watching a lot of those. He's mentioned films like An Eye for an Eye, Blind Swordsman, and others. He mentioned Blade of Fury. I originally thought about the Sammo Hung film Blade of Fury with Cynthia Khan.
That's what my brain went to as well.
Yeah, but this is a new one, isn't it? So eyes peeled for that. And, of course, another mention for Twilight of the Warriors. Awesome.
And we should maybe say for those that don't know, and we'll maybe, if we're organized enough, we'll put a link underneath, but you can generally get a subscription to IQE for 99p for your first month. So if anyone wants to jump on and check out, if you're stuck at home over the Christmas season and not too sure what to watch, though I can't imagine that being the case for anybody who watch our channels, but you can subscribe really easily to IQE. It's got its own app. This sounds like I'm an IQE salesman. I'm not. But it is a really good app. There's some kind of really, really strong movies on there. Both the Blind Swordsman movies are up, Blind War, a whole bunch of other movies that don't have blind protagonists and everything else in between. But yeah, you can generally get it for 99p for your first month. It's kind of well worth a look.
That's great. There's a few on there I want to see, like Fight Against Evil 2, things like that. So I believe they got the one that we covered recently on there as well, The Comeback with Simon Yam. So
Yeah. That's which is an incredible movie that kind of would be a strong contender. I can't remember if that was this year or last year, but yeah, anyway, check out IQE. Very, very good stuff, and well done, Sean. And I guess at this point, given that we're getting through our contestants, I should drop in one of my picks, right? And I think I will start with what everybody else is saying up front first, but I've got a few little props to bring up. So it has to be Twilight of the Warriors.
Nice.
I couldn't not support Hong Kong cinema and also support the phenomenal Kenji Tanigaki, who did the fight choreography for the movie. Such a trip getting to see this on the big screen. I think probably the best kind of Hong Kong cinema experience I've had in a long time, as far as action movies go anyway. And well done to CineAsia again for bringing it to us so soon after it kind of came out in Hong Kong. I think we got it like a week or 10 days after it opened in Hong Kong, right? At the cinema here in the UK.
I mean, it's really something of a phenomenon, this film, isn't it? And this release, I feel like it's like really brought Hong Kong action back with, such impetus. And I defy anybody to watch that and not really get in the zone, really be on the edge of the seat with the fights, the excitement. It's just every time you watch it, and we've watched it a fair few times now, at least 3, and so good, good. Bring on the sequels, prequels, whatever you got.
I was just about to say, hopefully kind of it'll happen fairly soon with a bit of luck. I hope that they're filming them now and we can maybe kind of get some more from that world in 2025, but I think it might be 2026, but we'll see. Fingers crossed. So yeah, that is my first pick.
Okay, well, I think we should follow up then and we'll have Shaz's pick. Take it away, Shaz.
Ho, ho, ho. Shaz here from HKB. Here are my 3 highlights from 2024. At number 1, we have the Enter the Clones of Bruce documentary. Now this was really special because Leon got involved and interviewed the director for a screening at the Genesis Cinema in London earlier this year. And we attended that event and it was just fantastic seeing the documentary on the big screen, seeing Leon's interview with the director on the big screen, and meeting some of the guys up there, Marlon and Peter. It was great to meet them and just spend a lovely evening on things all related to that documentary. Okay, my second highlight of the year was the We12 premiere in London. So we went up and attended that, and the film, loved it, loved those Mirror guys, and there was just such a great event at the cinema with all these crazy Mirror fans. Oh, it was just fabulous event to attend. My third movie related highlight from 2024 was finally getting to see The Mystery of Chess Boxing. After hearing so much about it for so long, it was great to actually get to see it. And as Leon wasn't well enough at the time, I did a solo YouTube video on it, which was a great experience for me. Right, so that was my top 3 film highlights of 2024, and back to the stream.
Great job, Shaz, and great job you too. I'm kind of intrigued to hear your picks again. Super jealous about not getting a chance to head down for that Game of Clones premiere. But I did get to see the Mirror Boys other movie that you'll have to remind me the name of because I can't at the moment.
Moonlight Thieves? No.
Yes.
Moon Thieves.
Yes.
To watch it,
which I really enjoyed. I kind of missed the other one, but I know that you're a huge Mirror fan girl, it's a wonderful thing. And you guys got to see them live this year too, didn't you? You got to see them actually perform.
Oh,
Yes,
we did.
did.
I mean, that was up in Manchester, wasn't it? And oh my God,
Such an amazing show.
it was amazing.
They're
I
so
mean,
talented.
I didn't expect to get as excited as what I knew Shaz was going to be, but I got to be honest, I was really excited and I was blown away. The amount of work they must put into their choreography.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking this is our next generation of Hong Kong movie stars here. You know, like you got your Andy Laos and your Jackie Chungs and your Aaron Kwok's and that lot. We've got them all bunched up in one group here, and I'm sure because some of them are really good actors, some more so than others. But I think we're going to see a lot from these guys in the future. So yeah, that's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. So next up, we have the picks from the guys over at Heroes 3 podcast.
Hello, Leon, Shaz, and Dragon. Here we are, the Heroes 3. We're going to try to squeeze this into 3 minutes. Maybe it'll go a little longer, but thank you for having us, guys, and including us in this little fun celebration of the year and the holidays. And and thanks for joining us. Each of you, besides Shaz, but you're also welcome, of course, joined us on the podcast over this past year. But we're here to talk about our favorites of the past year. So I figured to keep things nice and tight, we'll just do one from each of us. How does that sound, guys?
Works for me.
Sounds great.
Cool. So I think I'll start us off. And we've covered a lot on the podcast, but I actually wanted to talk about something that wasn't on the podcast. And I'd imagine that a lot of the people that are going to be contributing probably have seen this. And that's Twilight of the Warriors Walled In, the Soi Chang film from 2024 with stunt direction by Kenji Tanigaki. We've actually seen him on the podcast way back. He was in Fist of Legend, which was a long time ago, but he's got a long, wonderful career in stunts, and now he's moving into, I mean, he's all over the place, and I just want to see more from him. But it's great. It's kind of a return to kind of almost a throwback to action cinema that we all love to talk about here, but from 2024. And the Louis Koo's great in it. Sammo Hung shows up and he's got some action. I mean, you know, that dude, he's pretty old, right, guys? But it's awesome to see him. Swinging around. And so that's my choice. I also would I have to throw in Castle of Owls. We talked about that this past year.
Yeah, Castle of Owls was amazing.
It was amazing. And I feel
Elevated ninjas.
Yeah, we're creeping closer and closer to a release of this film, and I just hope and pray we do see that. But yeah, that's my side of it. I probably took up 3 minutes, but how about you guys?
Not quite. You're at like 2.5.
All right.
My favorite that we covered this year that was like just a total surprise for how much fun I had was the Super Ninja.
So good.
So fun.
Was the Super Ninja? Yeah, the Super Ninja was just a fun movie. It was goofy. It was bad in all of the best ways, and it's always fun to find a new, really good bad movie. And there's some genuinely pretty fun action, like that's genuinely well done.
Definitely.
In addition to a bunch of very amateurish acting and set dressing and writing and stuff, but it's a super fun one.
And you just love to see that the VHS quality action. It was just so good.
I honestly think it might take away from it if you watched it in crisp, clean HD.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, great pick.
How about you, Marty?
Yeah, to my surprise, the film that we've covered in the past year that continues to stay with me, and it's like I see ghostly images of it almost every other day, would be the 1986 directorial debut of Panaritikrai, Born to Fight. If you haven't seen this film, I don't know. To me, this is the kind of thing that makes you root for the movie maker in everyone, and it has this incredible energy of gather everybody in the neighborhood together. We can do this. We can make our own Jackie Chan movie here in the slums of Thailand. And if his name doesn't leap out to you, Panaritikrai was really instrumental in the kind of explosive rise of Tony Jaa. So he choreographed Ong Bak and directed some of those early productions. But Yeah, an easy film to find on YouTube, and no, there is not a better quality version of it that you'd be able to track down. But yeah, if you're ever in the mood for, I don't know, just kind of like wide-eyed innocence and enthusiasm about movie making, definitely give Born to Fight a spin.
Oh man, another great pick, and yeah, I love how varied it was. Our picks today. We didn't really talk about this too much before we started recording, but yeah, you got a really nice little selection there. And again, yeah, thanks to the Asian Cinema Circle. Thank you to all these creators and friends that have this passion just like we do, and I'm really excited to hear what people bring to the table for this, and I hope everybody has a happy holiday. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. All the best.
Bye.
Well, so that was great picks. One from each of the guys, Carlos, Matthew, and Morty. And Johnny and I were both lucky enough to be on Heroes 3 last year. What an experience. How welcome did they make you, Johnny?
Amazing. I think I'm sure you said it yourself, but I think for me, easily one of the best podcasts out there that kind of covers Asian cinema. They've been doing it for a long time. I think they've passed their 5-year anniversary now, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, really, really great dudes. Carlos in particular has been an amazing supporter of my channel, and just a good friend in general for the last couple of years. Really, really touched that they kind of put something together for us, because I know that they're all pretty scattered at this time of the year. They're not all in the same place. So they came together and did this for us, and I'm incredibly grateful. So thank you, Heroes 3 boys. Great picks. Really interesting to kind of hear their takes. And I think that takes us back to me again for another one of my picks, right?
What you got for us next, Johnny?
I think one that you'll have heard Jason mentioned, but it had to be Shawscope Volume 3. I think I know an awful lot of people seem to kind of think that they dropped the ball on this, but forget that we got that amazing Bruce Lee at Golden Harvest box set from Arrow last year. So they took a year off from doing Shaw Brothers, but kind of came back with Wuxia Vengeance with Volume 3. I think maybe not my collection of favorite Shaw Brothers movies compared to Volumes 1 or 2 that had so much Chang-Chi and Lau Gar-lung, but some great wuxia movies on here, and I think probably the best set so far in terms of extras. A whole separate extras disc this time round that we didn't get before. But yeah, I think easily my favorite physical media release of the year, and maybe not my favorite movie of the year, but
I'm very, very envious actually. Unfortunately, we've been doing a lot of work on the house, so we've had to forego a couple of things, but we will be getting into that next year. And just hearing you and hearing Jason makes me very excited for the minute that drops in price.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention, get onto the Arrow player. Like, you can sign up for a free trial, and all the movies are up on the Arrow player. All the extras are up on the Arrow player as well. I know that you like having the physical media, and you'll get there in time. You'll get the box set.
You know what will happen? If I watch it, I'll be like, oh, I won't get that because I've seen that. So I'll wait a little bit longer. So I'm going to refrain. I'm going to wait so I can get my hands on the box.
That's an admirable discipline. But for anyone else who doesn't want to drop, because it is an expensive set, right? It's a lot of money to spend, particularly at this time of year. But the Arrow player is really, really good. And I think again, this sounds like I'm putting on my salesman mode, but I think we do have to kind of remember that we're pretty lucky to be able to get the releases that we can afford to do so, and not everyone's got that much spare disposable cash. So if you're wanting to get involved and you want to see the movies, check out the Arrow player. You can sign up for free for a month. And where are we at? I think actually I've somehow missed my second pick. So I'll seg you straight into my third pick, my third and final, which is one that a few people have picked, but The Shadow Strays. I think for me, I know that you guys have just recently watched, I think, my favorite movie of the year. I wasn't expecting it to be my favorite movie of the year, but absolutely blown away. Adored Timothy Ahanto's previous movies, Headshot and The Night Comes for Us, both amazing. I think Mike Fury mentioned quite rightly that we didn't get physical media releases of these so far. I made my own. So I made my own little, if Criterion made a version of The Shadow Strays, then that's what I hope it would look like. I'm hoping to try and manifest it into reality by making a cover for it. Obviously, there's nothing inside because there's no disc has ever been released, but hopefully one day we will. I know that Criterion, one of the few labels that have actually picked up Netflix titles before. They put out
they did The Marriage Story,
and The Marriage Story, and The Irishman, the Scorsese movie. So there is a precedent. So hopefully, if Criterion, if by some chance you're watching, Criterion not watching this. We're not fancy enough for Criterion to watch our streams, right? But if word gets back to them,
what do you mean? I'm sure they tune in all the time. What the hell?
You never know. It might be a Christmas miracle if somehow for this time next year we're getting a physical media release of The Shadow Strays. My world would be complete. So that was my favorite film that I saw in the whole year, which wasn't expecting it to be a streaming movie. Normally I'm all about kind of watching movies on disc, so that kind of took me aback. But yeah, just really good. And you guys watched it recently too, right? You just watched
it, and we both want to say thank you for the recommendation because we were both blown away. It's a bit too soon for us to include it in all this after we'd already thought everything else out. But to me, it's kind of everything that Ninja Assassin should have been back in the day.
Yeah, completely.
And it wasn't, but The Shadow Strays delivered, like you say. I thought Headshot was great, and Night Come For Us was even better for me. But this one, it just felt like they took it to a whole new tier.
Yeah.
And oh my God. Yeah. I mean, I've been shouting about it at work. I've only seen it a few days ago, but I can't shut up about it because I'm like, you need to go and watch this. You need to go and watch this. And, I can't get them to watch my video, so they have to put up with me at work. And this is everybody's starting to hide now. Like, oh, shit, here comes Leon again. But yeah, people, please go and watch this one. It's on Netflix. It's worth the watch.
Oh, completely. And I think a double bill of Twilight of the Warriors and The Shadow Strays together, and you'll be in action movie heaven. And I think the more you start finding out about The Shadow Strays, particularly how little they had to work with, the more impressive it gets. I think we all loved Twilight of the Warriors. It was on my top list as well. But The Shadow Strays had 1/10 of the budget. So I think The Shadow Strays was Twilight of the Warriors about $30 million US or 300 million Hong Kong dollars of a budget. I think The Shadow Strays had about $3 million to play with, which is not much to make a movie of that sort of scope and scale. It's pretty impressive. So,
that's unreal, isn't it? That's completely unreal. So I guess that's been us for the first ACC Christmas special. I'd say just thank you for Johnny for originally reaching out to us and then agreeing to all the crazy ideas that I come up with since. And between the two of us, the two channels, I think we've done a lot of great work, and I love that we've got to this place. And thank you, brother. Really, really appreciate you, and I hope we do get a chance to meet up next year. And could you take us away for the Christmas special, please?
Completely. And again, thanks to you guys for also kind of being on this crazy journey with me. Props to you both for also having the podcast too, which if people aren't listening to, what are you doing? Check out the podcast, because I like listening to you guys. In some ways, easier for me to listen to you audio only because I can do other things at the same time. So I think I've recently heard more of your podcasts than I have sometimes your videos. I'll go back to the videos a little bit later always, but I can always keep up with the podcast when it's dropping. And Shaz, special wee thank you to you for keeping things going when Leon wasn't so well last year. It's actually kind of really nice seeing you doing videos on your own, and you did really, really well. So I think kind of to both of you, it's just been a real joy to kind of get to know you over the last couple of years, and everybody else that we've heard speak from today. I think kind of it's a really nice little community of people, both in front of the camera, excuse me, and also in the comment sections. I think the kind of people who kind of keep all of our channels going with kind of watching what we do and engaging with us and kind of sending us messages is one of the things that makes this the most fun to do, right?
Yeah, so, it is. There's so many nice people, and if we were to start to list them, this video would be double length it is now, easily.
Completely.
But to all those guys that have supported Johnny and us, thank you so much. We really do appreciate everything, all the feedback, all the comments. It means a lot.
Completely. And we hope you all have an incredible Christmas and an even better New Year. And here's to loads more great movies in 2025. And we'll be right here talking about them as they come out.
A.C.C. on this is Shaz, Leon, Johnny. Rocking the spotlight, ain't nothing phony. Top 3 moments, grab your popcorn, homie. Asian cinema kings, we flossing like Shinobi. First up, wild and martial arts revival. Kicks fly, punches land, survival of the Bible. Bruce Lee to Donnie Yen, legends never idle. Binge watching all night, beyond every title. A.C.C. bringing joy, Christmas cheer. Top 3 moments, highlight of the year. Pop culture mixing and feeling sincere. Lights, camera, action, holding it dear. Next flick, click, Bollywood blaze. dancing to the screen in a colorful haze. Shah Rukh Khan, Priyanka Slay. Blockbusters hits heavy, ain't no delay. Anime blowing up, pixels on fire. Miyazaki magic taking us higher. From Tokyo Tales to a cyberpunk wire. Animation domination, it's pure desire. A.C.C. bringing joy Christmas cheer. Top 3 moments, highlight of the year. Pop culture mixing, it's feeling sincere. Lights, camera, action, holding it dear.